So CJ Grisham drove down yesterday, 11/21/22, to come to a council meeting and talk to me about some stuff, right? The council decided to shut it down and not have the council meeting simply because I put it on Facebook that he was coming down and talk to him. They did this about 2 hours before the council meeting on purpose. These guys, they just don't want to talk to this man because they don't want to look stupid. With that said, we got Chief Blanchard to talk again anyway because we all know Chief Blanchard is fucking stupid. Anyway, watch the video, pay attention, listen to what CJ has to say, and this one's kind of a funny video. Just watch it through, guys. Appreciate it. All right. Welcome with CJ Grisham. So it was on the other door there that they got locked.
I like that.
Go ahead.
So here.
Did you see what it's? Oh, okay. So it's not canceled for this door.
No, what's it say?
They put the sign back there. Put it here to start with.
Yeah, that means there's not enough people. They didn't have enough. The mayor called in whoever because they didn't want to deal with us today.
Folks right here.
Yeah, that doesn't matter because the only place they can ban guns.
Correct.
Is in the
But they
chamber.
put it on this door, and then he wanted to search me right here, and I told him no. And then he let the next guy after me, didn't even search him.
Okay.
They only wanted to search me.
Huh. All right. I thought there were going to be some signs up.
No, there's.
Oh, for concealed?
Yes.
So it's external, you can have it?
Hi, how you doing? From my knowledge, you can't have any firearm in here.
You can. You can have external. I'll go get it wherever you can arrest me. You better look it up. They need to change it.
Do you have?
Jason follow up, brother. Not
No,
being a
no, I
dick.
mentioned before. No, I'm just asking, do you have one? Or?
No, I don't have it concealed on me. No, I didn't bring one today. But normally I have one on the side, but I didn't bring it.
Okay, that's all my question. That's what I'm here for, to let people know.
That's different. You were never here before. Probably because of my post about bringing handguns.
I'm not too sure. I get told what to do, of course. You know how it is.
Yeah, it's not. It's your management that's bad, brother, not you.
During city council meetings, they put up the 30-6 or 7 signs. They do put them up. They're like temporary signs. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Interesting.
I'll talk to the city attorney about that then, because if they're putting them here, the only place
correct.
it applies is in there.
That's right. Yeah, so these go to offices, so that's not what that's not what the law says.
So they're magnetic. That's why they're not there right now. And they're allowed to do that. I don't know why they would. Now, I think when we got HB 1927 passed, there's a loophole now where if you have a license, they can't even put up a 30-6-7 sign for you. They can only put up a 30-5, which means only unlicensed carry is banned inside the chambers.
Right.
The problem with that is that there are dumbass attorneys who are pro-state that think, no, that's not what that says. Yes, that's what it says. I helped write the damn thing.
Yeah.
And they changed the way that they worded it so that now it's not as obvious. You got to read through it, and then you go further down, and then it says, oh, this doesn't apply. You go way down here. That section doesn't apply if the person is licensed under Chapter 411, whatever.
They do that on purpose.
Yeah.
The law's supposed to be written to where we can easily understand it.
The fact is that license holders are 7 times less likely to commit a crime
Correct.
than law enforcement.
Correct.
The law enforcement conviction rate is 1.9%. The LTC conviction rate is 0.3%.
Wow.
That's like 8.5%, or 8.5 times less likely to commit a crime if you have a license than if you're a cop. And that was the whole purpose. We were like, why would you ban the most law-abiding segment of society from being able to carry a gun? And that's all crimes. You don't see any murders. You don't see any violent crimes. All those, that 0.3% is stupid stuff. It might be a DUI here or there, or a trespassing here or there.
What with that sign there? That they can have guns, but we can't. I don't understand.
They can. Here's the thing. That doesn't apply during an open meeting. If they put up a 30-6 and 30-7 sign, that doesn't apply. So they can't, inside that city council meeting, they cannot grant themselves the right to violate a 30-6 or 30-7 sign.
What's illegal?
So under their ordinance 18-12 subsection B6, it says that this section does not apply to, because it says you commit an offense if you're carrying a firearm and remains on the premises of the city, but it does not apply to, quote, a city employee licensed under the Texas concealed handgun law who has received prior approval from the city manager to exercise the CHL privilege while employed with the city of Aransas Pass and on duty. So they can't make an exception under the law, under Chapter 411, under Chapter 229.001 of the Local Government Code, which prohibits them from regulating the carry and possession and all that of firearms, that they can't do anything that's different than state law, unless state law specifically authorizes it.
Right.
The only part of state law that authorizes employees to be armed where citizens can't be armed is in a courtroom, and that's by order of a judge. So this section 6 is unlawful. Refuse to enforce it, and he should, because it violates state law. And the chief is aware, this is kind of what I want to do, is put him on notice that he can't enforce this
Right.
because it violates state law. This is an old ordinance.
It says when it was passed.
Yeah, but you're talking to people that don't care about the Constitution. They don't care about rights.
Section. Now I'm thinking this is from 2013. As you know, 2015 is when the open carry law was
Yes.
passed, and we changed a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And then, of course, 2020 was when we passed the constitutional carry, or last year, excuse me, 2021 is when we passed constitutional carry. So this is just way outdated. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the city.
You're telling me Police Chief Blanchard doesn't do his job.
Pretty much.
All right.
Okay.
But I know that you guys, he's also been directed not to speak with you guys unless it's a new complaint or new.
I have a new issue.
Sure.
So dispatch informed me
Mine?
of the request.
Oh, yes, sir.
Because it's our agency, we're not the appropriate agency to report that to. That would have to be the Texas Rangers. They're the ones that are charged in the state of Texas with any kind of investigations into another law enforcement agency
So I can't file a police report to the police department?
about the police department. You're trying to file a report.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's not in your,
Of the chief
that's,
law enforcement officer.
yeah, that's not in your,
Same police department.
yeah, that's not in your policy manual.
Okay, I talked to the captain. That's a information that I'm going to present to you.
No, I'd like to talk to the captain then.
He's not here right now.
So who's here?
I am.
You're the one? Okay, so this officer basically tells me that they don't investigate themselves. No self-auditing. What the fuck? If you read through their policy manual, they do investigate this, and they're supposed to fully investigate it and take it up the food chain, meaning that if Chief Blanchard is the problem, they go to Gary Edwards and do an investigation, and they refused. Pay attention. Look what they did. Tell me what you think. And if you're an honorable man, even if it's your chief, you do the right thing. You took an oath, right?
It's unfortunate that you don't like my answer, but that's the answer I've got, okay?
So you won't self-audit yourself, is what you're telling me.
I'm saying that the appropriate agency for you to make this report would be to the Texas Rangers. They're the ones that are charged in the state of Texas statutorily with investigating other law enforcement
Well,
agencies.
so was the sheriff's department too.
You can go there if you want.
Sheriff's department too. But with that said, you could also take the report.
We're not going to take the report because it would be inappropriate for us to investigate ourselves.
So y'all wouldn't arrest an officer if they stabbed somebody in town.
That's not the same thing as what you're coming to report.
A crime's a crime.
That's not the same thing as what you're trying to report.
A crime is a crime.
That's not the same.
Both of them punishable by jail.
It's not the same thing. They have different punishments, different levels.
The flag up top, what is it for, with a yellow stripe?
As support security guards.
Why would a police station have support for security guards
Because that's the new job they're about to have.
after they get terminated
Yeah.
or demoted? Blanchard working at Walmart as a greeter.
The Gomer Pyle looking dude.
So my main question is, because they were showing me around like the city hall, and I'm seeing your signs about employees may be armed
Yes.
and the city ordinance. And so I looked up, I'm with Open Carry Texas, I'm a gun rights activist.
Okay,
And so I looked up the ordinance, and I wanted to see if he's actually enforcing this, because this ordinance violates the local government code 229.001.
okay,
Cities are not allowed to ban guns on the premises of a property. The only place the city is allowed to ban guns is in the meeting room of an open meeting. And if there's a jail, they're allowed to ban guns at the jail.
right,
So very limited circumstances.
Right.
And I'm seeing your signs about employees may be armed and the
yes,
city ordinance. And so I looked up, I'm with Open Carry Texas, I'm a gun rights activist.
okay,
And so I looked up the ordinance, and I wanted to see if he's actually enforcing this, because this ordinance violates the local government code 229.001.
okay,
Cities are not allowed to ban guns on the premises of a property. The only place the city is allowed to ban guns is in the meeting room of an open meeting. And if there's a jail, they're allowed to ban guns at the jail.
right,
So very limited circumstances.
Right.
So the ordinance itself, which says that, a person commits an offense if he carries or enters or remains on the premises of the city. And I know this was 2013, so my only question is he enforcing this, this code of ordinance?
I'm not sure that I can answer that question. Is he enforcing it when or? with
Well,
whom or-
I mean, like, for example, right now, technically, because I'm open carrying,
Uh-huh.
I'm violating section 1812 of the Code of Ordinances, because I am carrying a firearm on the premises of the city. I am inside the police station,
Okay,
and I was just inside City Hall. The other thing is, it says that a city employee licensed under the Texas Concealed Handgun Law that has prior approval, it doesn't apply to them. But the law doesn't allow for exceptions for city council. So if there is a 30-6 or 30-7 sign, that applies to everyone. The only exceptions that are allowed under the law are for judges who are allowed to, by issuing an order, allow their staff at the courthouse to carry.
okay,
And but that's a 4603 issue, not a 4635 issue.
okay,
So that's kind of my question. I've been going around the state. I've had a lot of these ordinances repealed, which is my next step. But I want to make sure in the meantime, my only question is this being enforced? That people can't carry guns on the premises of city property?
So I guess that's a question that you probably have to send to the city attorney.
Well, the chief does the enforcement, right?
Well, chief is in charge of the police department.
Right.
Correct. But that's not something that you would have to, that's not a necessarily a criminal complaint that you're making today with an officer.
Well, the complaint is the,
Well, any communication has been directed to the city attorney. That's what you guys have been advised of, and that's what.
I don't know who you guys are. I'm here by myself. I'm here for my own purposes.
Okay, well, I'm sure that you, through communication with our city attorney and with Chief Blanchard, that's where the communication needs to go to, is to the city attorney.
Well, I was trying to, wait, what communication? For Open Carry Texas stuff?
For Open Carry Texas, for information like this, like, I can't answer that question for you. And I'm not going to. I'm not gonna even attempt to try.
That's why I
But,
wanted to talk to the chief.
right, but he has been advised not to speak with you, so.
Me specifically? Yes.
We're not gonna be, having like debates or discussion. I think it's been well
Were you
clear
listening
that,
behind the door and you wouldn't come out? That's fine.
we're not gonna have a discussion, okay? So, Mr. Follow.
I'm laughing at you.
And you guys have been told that you guys have an impending litigation against the city?
That has nothing to do with
I'm
that.
not here about impending litigation.
Okay,
I'm not here about anything that has to do with this man or these men.
interesting.
I am not
Why don't
here-
you come on back?
I would love-
Pretending to be Chief Blanchard. Oh, they're pissing me off! I wanna go get him! Fuck him.
I'd love to.
Wait, he has to sign in. Did you sign in?
He actually doesn't have to sign in. He doesn't have to identify himself. No, you don't.
Yes.
No, you don't. No, ma'am, you don't.
Okay.
Learn the Constitution. He does not have to identify himself at all.
It's a CJIS rule.
Who cares?
Okay.
Go back to the Constitution that you don't follow, you piece of shit. CJ and Blanchard did meet inside Blanchard's office after he was hiding behind the door. However, we didn't have body cam feed, but that's okay. They did record it themselves. So I've asked for that data, and as soon as I get it, I'll send it out to you guys so you can see exactly what CJ and Blanchard talked about. I know, and it's funny as hell. Okay, so to get a hold of the police department, this is what you have to do, because they have the curtain closed, because they knew we were coming. So my question is, what if you're hearing impaired? Chief Blanchard, that is discrimination. Can't do that. Door not locked. Here we go. Hey, can you, if you need to use the restroom, could you? I'm just curious. I don't know how it works here. Is that a public bath? Oh, you can't go to the bathroom? Interesting. Okay, guys, I'd like to thank CJ Grisham for coming out and helping us. He drove a long way just for the council to cancel the meeting 2 hours before he got here. What a bunch of chicken shits. With that said, we are going to bring back CJ Grisham again. He is going to come talk for us, meaning our towns. I'm talking about Rockport, Aransas, and Ingleside. He wants to come talk to all of us publicly, help us understand the laws, the Constitution, and what these 3 towns are doing to us. It's not just Aransas, guys. I've got all kinds of people coming at me, calling me, emailing me, asking for help and advice, and I'm learning as I go, but CJ's going to help us. So I will keep y'all posted on when that'll happen. And again, subscribe, help us grow, and we do appreciate you. Thank you, guys.